Hey everybody, welcome back to the Overwatch League Report. I'm Brian.
I'm Ben.
And here we are talking about the champions, Ben. The day of the Overwatch League coming back is when this is going to launch, unless anything weird happens with our scheduling, which I don't anticipate. But if it did, hey, sorry about that. We tried. But so we're going to be talking about the London Spitfire, the reigning champs. Ben, we are going to talk a little bit about their new coach, Coach 815. Tell me about this man who, I'm going to be honest, the name makes it seem like there's not actually a coach there. It just like, they're like, oh, we'll fill this in later, and they just left it as 815. But you can confirm this is a real person. I
would have thought that you would have liked the name.
Oh, I love it for Lost references. I love that. But
I'm pretty sure it's not a Lost reference. It's just a coincidence, but you can pretend it is, and it'll probably make you like them more.
Okay, I will. And their mascot's a plane. It's all coming together.
Yeah. Oh well, that's not a good vision.
Omen, no.
No, that's not great. Have a coach with the name 815 and have
the plane.
That's brutal.
Hey, but you said they have 6 strong players. They give me the Spitfire 6.
Yeah, and they have Coach 815. A lot of people have been confused about why Coach 815 was being brought in here, because his only experience has been, or his only Overwatch coaching experience has been coaching MVP Space.
Okay.
But he does have a long seasoned career coaching Korean esports for 10 plus years.
Right.
And he did, looking at his coaching of MVP Space, he brought them from kind of a low tier trials team. He brought them out of trials in Contenders Season 2. He brought them out of trials and he's done, a pretty good job. Like he took them from I meant to say out of Trials Contender Season 1 and then out of Trials Contender Season 2, where they were they actually made it to the playoffs of Contender Season 2. They made it to top 8. So he took a team that was kind of struggling back in the Apex days, and he brought them to a position where they were like an average to above average contenders team. Right. That's really difficult to do in such a competitive region. So I think that he's proven himself. Like, even if he has less experience coaching Overwatch specifically, he's proven himself in other games, and I think he's done enough to prove himself to be able to at least he's coached for all intents and purposes a mediocre to bad team into a position where they are an above average team. So I think that he has experience with that. And he's not even working with a bad team now. He's working with, arguably the best team in the league, who are coming as the returning champions. Like, he has, he can do whatever he wants with them. Like, he has, right? I mean, he's not going to turn the Spitfire into a bad team.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know. When you have a coach that is demonstrably good at bring the best out of mediocre players, and you're going to give him some of the best players in the world, I can't see anything but good things happening.
Right. All right, well, let's talk about some of their new players. They added Guard, who's a DPS, and Krillin, who is a support player. Tell me a little bit about them.
Well, let's start with Krillin, actually.
Okay.
I think we should end with Guard.
Okay.
So Krillin is an interesting pickup on their part. Krillin is coming in as kind of an unknown player from kind of an unknown team. He's coming in from Crusher, who were mostly, in my, I believe, a trials team, like a Korean trials team. So they never really got anywhere. Even in trials, they were bottom pack. Like, they were one of the worst teams in their trial seasons that they did. So it's kind of an interesting pickup. From what I've seen of him, because I don't know very much about him, or the team, because, like I said, they were not super good, not super well known. He's kind of not great, but maybe they don't really care. They just kind of wanted a potential backup support. There is a hard minimum of 8. Like the league has set a hard minimum of you need 8 players on your roster, and like it's expected that the Spitfire are just gonna field their 6 players that they ended up with at the end of the season, and they're bringing in Guard as a potential like 7th player to like rotate in certain comps, which we'll talk about. So potentially Krillin is literally just there to be an 8th man and like put on a jersey and sit in the bench. And like
good work if you can get it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if you can,
London, if you need an 8-man next year, I got you. I don't have to do anything. Cool, perfect.
I don't want to like be a dick or anything, but it just seems like they are they brought him in because he's not well known, so his contract's probably like really cheap, and if something crazy happens to I guess you would go in for Nuss if something happened, but like it just seems kind of like they're bringing him in because they need an 8th player, because of the way the league rules are. So I don't know. Maybe I'll be surprised. Maybe he'll like actually come in and see play, but it just that seems to be the role he's filling to me.
All right. So what about Guard?
Guard, on the other hand, is a really impressive player. Guard is coming in from Element Mystic, who were one of the best teams in the world, one of the best contenders teams like in any region in the world. And Guard is like a really impressive player from that team. He is best known for his Tracer and Sombra play. And it's interesting that they bring in somebody who is like very good on Tracer, because Prophet and Birdring already are both very good on Tracer.
Right.
But it seems like Guard is coming in as a potential backup for Birdring. And the thing is, Prophet and Birdring are both insane, but they also don't really have they aren't well known for playing Sombra at a high level. I'm sure they could play Sombra at a high level if they wanted to, but that's not their either of their kind of signature or main heroes. So they're bringing in Guard, who is extremely well known for being a high tier Sombra in contenders. And if you watch some of the clips of him, he is one of the best Sombras in the world, in my opinion. And with a lot of people speculating that that Sombra is going to be a heavy pick in the meta to counter Goat, that people are playing Goat plus Sombra as trying to like be the like Goat's mirror counter, then we might actually see Guard break into this like Godly 6 roster. So I'm very excited. I think that Guard is a great pickup for the team. He fits right in for what they're trying to do, and I'm excited to see him potentially play on the big stage.
Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about the Godly 6 and what we can expect. So they're returning Birdring, Prophet, Fury, Jester, Badassin, and Nas. Tell me what these champions can expect and where you expect them to finish before we wrap this up.
So I mean, like, look, we were there, right? We were in Brooklyn. We were sitting in the seat. We were, at least on day 2, we were pretty close up to where the stage was. We were pretty much as close as we could get to without paying more.
Right.
And we saw firsthand them just annihilate potentially the 3rd or 4th best team in the league.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, come on. Like, by the end of the season, like, obviously you could talk about like the meta really was great for what they were trying to do. It really dovetailed well for the things that the team is good at. But like Fury and Gesture are like one of the best tank lines in Overwatch, if not the best tank line in Overwatch. Birdring and Prophet are both just insane. They individually have situations where they just like pop off and team kill in like 5 seconds.
Right.
In like situations where like you shouldn't be able to do that. And even like Badoshan and Nuss are both like really strong support. Like they don't have a weak point, right? There's no weak player on the team. Like there are things you can point to on other teams where they have like a weakness, right? Yeah. The weakness for the Spitfire is going to be the meta shifting in a way that disfavors the strengths that they bring.
Yeah.
And that could happen, right? We have no idea. The meta is like in a state of flux right now, sort of.
Yeah, they're kind of working on it, trying to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, and on top of that, there's a potential for like even more changes to come through in potentially during or after stage 1. So what we're going to see is the Spitfire probably being in at least a top 4 at the end of the season, right. Having a good shot at it. And as long as the meta doesn't shift significantly away from the strengths that they have as a team and stay like that for a long enough period of time where they can rack up a ton of losses, which I don't see even happening. Even if they have like a bad meta, they're still going to be an average team at least.
Right.
So I can't see a situation where the Spitfire aren't at least in the top 4.
Right.
So.
All right. Is there anything you'd like to add before we get out tonight, Ben? Just when it all starts.
This is it. This is the last preview that we're doing.
Yep. After
this, we're not doing a video until we're doing like our stage 1 week 1 coverage, and I'm excited.
So
we have when this comes out, this will be unless we screw up somehow, this will be on the day that the season is starting. So I mean, the season's starting on Valentine's Day, and so it's appropriate because the league is my true love.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
All right, Ben. Where can they find you online?
You can find me at Ben Sharon on Twitter, at Trey of Spades, at all of the things that aren't like generic social media. So like basically generic social media, it's at Ben Sharon. More like nerdier like gaming style things where you'd have a handle, it's Trey of Spades.
Gotcha. All right, so for Ben and Brian and all of Wicked Everything, make sure you check us out on twitch.tv/WickedEverything. Check us out on Twitter at WGEverything and on Instagram at WickedEverything and YouTube at youtube.com/WickedEverything. Thank you guys so much for watching. Enjoy the matches this week, and we'll see you real soon.